What's up, guys, and welcome to my channel. Today we will explore some of the most disturbing confessions ever posted on Reddit. So without any further ado, let's get straight into the video. I confess that I am a 32-year-old pedophile who is exclusively attracted to boys ages 7 to 14. I had a very turbulent childhood. I have two older sisters, of whom is really my half-sister, and one younger brother. My father, the father of the three younger ones, was a major pedophile. He had molested my half-sister, and that led to my parents' divorce. My father came every Sunday. He had molested my sister and tried to molest me when I was 7. I had to live with this pedophile/predator coming in and out of our lives. My mother was rather nonchalant about it. My mother was very emotionally and physically abusive too. I told my father that I no longer wanted to see him when I was 14, and he obliged. I never had any real friends out of fear that my father would molest them and I would be blamed for it. I was very isolated. When I was about 14, I knew something was not right with me. For example, I would intentionally undress for PE where the 6th graders would undress because I wanted to check them out. I looked forward to that every day. It was the same thing in high school, always trying to see the younger class get undressed. I had no interest in females, but I did flirt out of social necessity. I actually had very good-looking girls throwing themselves at me too. In my 20s, I started to explore my sexuality with a few older men. I did not like it. I discovered these nudist documentaries with kids, and that got me off for years. I did not have any contact with kids for those years. After college, I could not find work in my field, non-kid related by the way, and the only thing available was working at a school as a TA. I was very awkward because I had an intense attraction to many of the boys, and I stayed away. It was during those years that I conceded that I was in fact a pedophile. I left that job to work on my master's, and again, the only decent paying job was working with kids. I noticed that I can look at a boy and find him sexually attractive, but once I form a relationship with him, I'm almost disgusted at the thought of anything sexual with him. It's really weird. I've been in and out of counseling for years and never disclosed my pedophilia. I guess I was afraid of being reported or having my psychologist terminating me as a patient. Yes, they do that, out of fear that I may be a ticking time bomb. I also confess that I hate most pedophiles. Most pedophiles are just guys who can't get a woman, so they'll settle for a boy, girl, or whatever. They should all be shot. Those are the ones who break the laws and are true predators. They're also dumb as fuck, i.e., to catch a predator. I just love boys. I have zero attraction to men, women, and girls. It's funny because people would trust me around boys, but not girls because I am a male. I understand that as I get older, the more pressure that I will experience to stop hanging out with so many boys. I feel a bit of that already. Being a pedophile has devoid me of trusting people. I know my secrets are a liability. I think a part of my attraction to boys is their innocence. I want that innocence. It's so alluring and attracting. I don't think I ever had it. When I was a boy, my life was pretty fucked up. Because I'm cognizant of that, I go out of my way to help boys. When I worked at the school, I would not hesitate to buy some Subway for a boy who didn't have lunch because he didn't have money. I didn't expect anything in return, and it was not grooming. My life is pretty lonely, but I think it's best that way. Not ideal. Gave my 19M friend, 20M, a blowjob, but everyone thinks I'm straight. Over the weekend, I was hanging out with a friend, and we got a little inebriated, so to say, and we got to talking about our sex lives. I was telling my friend how I'd been having poor luck with the ladies and made a joke about giving a go with guys. He kind of laughed and asked if I was serious. Now, up to this point, I'd only been with women, but I wouldn't say I was turned off by the idea of a man and gave him I wouldn't be against it. And then one thing led to another, and we blew at each other. Sometimes I get aroused by the most messed up things. Throw away, because this is a really fucked up confession, and I'm 100% ashamed of it. Sometimes if I read a story or hear of someone who was sexually assaulted or raped, I'd get aroused, even though in my head, I feel really awful for the person. What arouses me is not what happened to the person, but it's like my part of my mind imagines myself being the victim, because in my head it's like the person finds me attractive in some way. I think part of the reason is because I've never felt desired before. I never had a guy ask me out in high school or even college, or even just have a guy show interest in me, and I've just felt super undesirable. This has also led me to be addicted to porn and masturbation, and I just feel all of this is probably what causes this weird arousal. I can't even imagine how bad actual victims must have felt after enduring such experiences, and despite that it still keeps happening, and I hate myself so much for it. It's really fucked up, I know, and I would do anything for this to stop happening. When I was deployed in Iraq, I killed 7 people. I feel nothing. No regrets. I suppose the no regrets tag fits the best. I feel worse about not caring what I did. When I was deployed in Iraq, I killed 7 people. I've never been a fighter. I couldn't imagine taking someone's life. I went into the military because my father always wanted me to follow after him and his father, and I really didn't have much else to do with my life. I always heard about the stories of soldiers in shock, coming home with PTSD and mentally broken. I didn't think I'd have to kill anybody. I wasn't really worried. I didn't have a great life, and the only person I left behind when I shipped out was my father. I wasn't exactly clinging to life, and figured if nothing else, time in the military would strengthen me as a person. There was no real hesitation when it happened. Morals didn't come into question when I had to pull the trigger to save myself, and the men who would go on to save my ass countless times. I wasn't shooting children or innocent civilians, and it really didn't even feel like I was killing somebody. Everybody kept asking if I was okay, and ignoring anything I said that wasn't no. I'm not a psychopath. I'm not someone who's been fighting to stay alive their entire lives. I'm grateful to whatever powers are in this world that I'm not as damaged as I should be, but I don't know why I'm fine. I shouldn't be. I don't feel less human. I don't feel like a hero. I don't have nightmares about what I did, and that scares me more than what I've done. I cheated on my loving husband of 13 years. It was amazing. I hate myself for how little I regret it. I've been married to my husband for 13 years. In the past 2 years, he gained a lot of weight, like nearly 100 pounds. Specifically the past 6 months, he has exploded in weight. He has a medical condition now, which makes it difficult for him to lose it. Even he admits he likely won't ever lose it. So I cheated on him with a guy I met at a bar. A hot, tanned, muscular guy who was visiting from Cyprus. He's going back to Cyprus in 2 weeks. He texted me today and asked if we wanted to meet up at his apartment, with a bunch of winking faces implying we were going to have sex. I hesitated, then said yes. I deleted the texts. I gave him a fake last name. I went over. He had an Adidas tracksuit on, which showed his muscular, hairy chest, and I felt a tiny bit of regret before that, but when I saw his muscles, any regret just left me. I barely even hesitated to kiss him. We had sex. It was amazing. He made me orgasm, something I haven't had from my husband in a year. He was well endowed, something my husband didn't have. I think we fucked on and off for 2 to 3 hours on his bed. He was so primal. I went back home with my husband, and everything felt normal. I cheated on him, yes, but I felt like nothing had changed. I expected to be torn apart by regret and loathing, but I wasn't. Obviously, I would never, ever tell him, nor would he find out, and I still felt love for my husband. Oddly enough, I almost felt closer to him. I was so frustrated before sexually, and now that I got that release, I feel like a barrier that had frustrated me about him had just dropped. I want to have sex with him now more than in the past 2 years. I just don't know how to feel about this. I almost hate how easy it was for me, how little it seems to be affecting me. I know that what I did was bad, and it would break his heart if he found out. I hate that this didn't tear me apart with guilt, and instead I feel almost no guilt. I hate that cheating on my husband has somehow made me feel better about both myself and him. This isn't normal, I know that. I also feel like my sexual frustrations have been pushed to the side for now. I don't have any urges to cheat again. I suppose it's just a one-time thing which I shall keep as a secret until I die. Ask me anything. I killed 2 people. It's been 2 years and 4 months. Every day that goes by is very 1 foot in front of another. I'll make a long story short. It was a freak accident, to say the least. A horrifique freeway accident. No drinking or drugs, speeding, texting or calling, reckless driving, etc., the highway patrol officer who read through the reports told me. You would have had to be a ninja to avoid it. You are not at fault. Relief, right? Wrong survivors, guilt, sadness for their family, sad for them, guilty that I facilitated their transition, angry that I didn't do things differently, wanted to end it all because I know I don't deserve to live more than them. The list goes on. It's hard to drive because I get flashbacks, panic attacks, shaking, crying, nightmares of that night. They didn't deserve this. Their family doesn't deserve this. They were both beautiful people with potential, love, family life. And then it's over. And I did it. I have come to understand how different forms of guilt works. And I have become accustomed to the torture I inflict on myself mentally. I deserve at least that. I will never fully forgive myself, and I will never get over it. I think of them often. Sometimes I watch their videos. I include them when I pray and meditate, and I ask them to forgive me. I pray for their families to find healing one day. They were heroes. They were beautiful people.